Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Jas, a regulated Canadian immigration consultant at Nivara Immigration Services. If you're applying or even thinking about applying for spousal sponsorship to bring your partner to Canada, or if you want to sponsor your spouse already living with you in Canada, then this video is for you. One of the most common questions I get from clients is, how does IRCC decide whether a relationship is genuine or not? And honestly, it's such a valid question. You can be in a real loving relationship, but if your file doesn't show that clearly, it can raise unnecessary doubts. So today, let's go behind the scenes. I'll show you how officers actually review your application, what kind of proofs matter the most, and how to make your relationship story shine through your paperwork. Why IRCC checks the relationship genuineness. Let's start why this check even exists. Canada's immigration system truly believes in keeping families together, but it also needs to guard against what's known as marriages of convenience. Those are the relationships formed only for the immigration purpose. That's why officers have to make sure a relationship is real and emotionally genuine, not just legal on paper. And remember, these officers are human too. Many are still working remotely, reviewing hundreds of scanned applications on small laptop screens. Some files are neat and easy to follow, others not so much, missing documents, random photos, confusing timelines. Now imagine you're that officer. You open the file and it's beautifully organized, everything labeled, dates lined up, and the story that just makes sense. It immediately built trust. That's the kind of file you want yours to be. What officers actually look for as a proof of your relationship. Let's break this down with a real world context. First, if you're married, IRCC checks whether your marriage is legally valid. That is, have you provided a valid marriage certificate from the country you were married in? If you are common law, you'll need to provide a proof of living together continuously for at least 12 months before submitting your application, like shared lease, bills, or mails coming to the same address. And for conjugal partners, the bar is even higher. You must show that living together or getting married wasn't possible due to serious barriers like religion, sexual orientation, etc. Second, communication and connection. This is where your love story comes in. Officers want to see the real human bond, how you stay connected, how you care for each other. I always tell my clients, don't just upload the screenshots, tell your story. For example, if you're applying outline spousal sponsorship and living away from each other, your application should prove how you communicate on a daily basis, which could be through WhatsApp, calls, etc., where we share photos, family updates, and talk about our plans to live together. Let's say you communicate with each other in any other language than English or French. Then just attaching the screenshots of your chat would not be the ideal way. Those screenshots should be translated to one of the official languages of Canada so that the officer might understand your intent and story behind those screenshots. Also, if you live away from each other and send gifts on special occasions, those could also serve as a proof of your ongoing relationship. Such careful considerations while preparing your application turns the plain evidence into something personal and trustworthy to prove your genuine connection. Third, financial support and shared responsibilities. This isn't about who earns more, it's about a teamwork. When you are in a relationship, then your expenses and savings are shared in one way or another. For instance, you might have a joint bank account if living together. If not living together, then you might have helped and supported each other financially during tough times, or maybe you just transferred money to your partner to buy something they really like. So, including those proofs would be ideal. It shows commitment and real life partnership. Even small gestures like sending money for birthdays or covering medical expenses tell the officer that you function as one unit. Fourth, social recognition. Do people around you know about your relationship? Have you met each other's families or friends? Officers may look at photos, wedding or engagement ceremony photos, joint events with family and friends. You would be surprised to know officers sometimes even take a look at your social media to see if your relationship appears in your circle. By saying this, I mean they don't expect daily posts of you together with your friends or family. But if you have been together for years and no one in your circle knows about it, or you don't have any common connections, that raises a lot of questions. But let's be real here. Not everyone can share their relationship publicly. Maybe your families didn't approve, or cultural or religious reasons made it difficult. If that's you, don't panic. Just explain it to IRCC. IRCC understands cultural differences and recognize that it could be the reason of not making your relationship public. Fifth, your future plans. This is one of the biggest indicators of a genuine relationship. Do you talk about your future together in Canada? Where you'll live, work, or study? Even simple things like, we plan to rent a place near my spouse's workplace, or we have discussed long term family goals can help the officer see a real shared future. Common red flags. Even genuine couples can have red flags. The key is to explain them upfront. Some of the common red flags are short courtship. If you married soon after meeting, share the reason. Maybe your families introduced you and it was an arranged marriage. Second, age or cultural gap. These differences are fine, but show that you both genuinely understand and respect them. Another red flag could be limited communication. If you don't share a common language, mention how you connect with each other through calls or shared activities or translation apps, etc. In this case, also mention what you are doing to learn other partners' language. Inconsistent details could also be a red flag. If your forms say one thing but your chat show another, so you have to explain it clearly. None of these things means automatic refusal, but leaving these issues unexplained and unaddressed can delay or even harm your application. The missing document reality. This is something I see all the time. Let's put it this way. Officers are under heavy workload pressure. Many still work from home and review files from small screens on their laptops. So when they find a missing document, even something small missing from the checklist, it gives them an easy reason to delay or return your file. Now picture the same officer opening a perfectly organized application, every document labeled and all documents in proper order. Your story clear and easy to follow. Even if you were in place of that officer, you would automatically raise less questions about organized file which has the complete information and is also easy to follow. That file feels effortless to review and yes, it can genuinely speed things up. So how you can build a strong application? Here's what I recommend for every couple I work with. First, write a relationship timeline. Just one page is enough, but write it clearly from the day you met till now. Second, choose photos that tell a story, not just selfies or photos that include you both, but also family moments, travel, and celebration of milestones in your relationship, like engagement, marriage anniversary, birthdays, etc. Third, label and date everything. It is true for the proofs of your relationship. Make it easy for the officer to follow. Fourth, be upfront. If something's missing because you are unable to provide any proof or there is something unusual, explain it in your cover letter to avoid delays. Remember, IRCC doesn't expect a perfect fairy tale. They expect a real human story. And every story is different. Be proud of yours and present it in the best way possible. If you want your relationship to come through clearly in front of an officer and do not want it to get lost in the paperwork, take the time to prepare your application properly. And if you are unsure whether your file is strong enough or want us to prepare your file, I would be happy to help. You can book a consultation from the link provided in the description, and we'll make sure your story is told the way it deserves to be. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe for more simple Canadian immigration tips, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Also, comment below what part of your sponsorship process worries you the most. I read every comment personally, and your question might be the topic of my next video. Thank you for watching.